This is the Curse of Dudleytown. Have you ever heard of this place? You may not know its name, but I bet you know its story. It's the place where people go missing. In the 18th century, settlers came to this part of Connecticut, hoping for religious freedom. They started a community which became known as Owlsbury. Then in 1683, a man named John Dudley bought most of the land. The town took on his name, and things were fine for a while. But soon weird things began to happen, and people started dying. First, John Dudley was killed in a mysterious fire. Then his brother committed suicide. Soon after, John's son was gored by a bull. After that, more men died in various accidents. Within a century, the entire Dudley family was wiped out by a mysterious blaze. Ever since, the town has been abandoned. But hikers and researchers say they experience unexplainable phenomena there. Are these tales true or false? Let's investigate. First up, we have to talk about the legend. According to local lore, when John Dudley purchased the land, he cursed the town. He had come from England, seeking asylum after killing someone in a duel. Legend says the land he bought had once been home to an ancient tribe of Native Americans. When he learned this, John felt guilty for settling on land taken from indigenous people. So as a last-ditch effort to undo the harm, he put a curse on the land, one that would claim each generation of settlers. Many people who have explored Dudleytown say they've experienced evidence of this curse. For example, they claim to have seen ghosts and heard unexplained noises. What's more, they say the very air makes them ill. Others say technology shuts down, film and cameras break, and compasses spin erratically. People also say trails suddenly appear and vanish. Now let's look at the facts. In 2017, the Connecticut Historical Society published a paper called Dispelling the Curse of Dudleytown. Historian Beverly A. Brown wrote that many of the theories about Dudleytown are likely false. She said that the Dudley family wasn't exterminated by a curse. Instead, the deaths and accidents probably occurred for random reasons. Why did so many Duncans die? Well, that can be explained by bad luck and human error. In the 19th century, mining disasters were common. Alcohol abuse was widespread, and medical care was primitive. People were exposed to wild animals and harsh weather conditions. Plus, back then, there weren't many laws regulating factories and mills. Machines were often unsafe. As for the supposed psychic disturbances, Brown thinks those are likely caused by normal psychological phenomena. Any place with a sad backstory could evoke feelings of anxiety and dread. This could explain why so many explorers reported experiencing depression, irrational fear, and sadness while exploring Dudleytown. Brown believes the supposed electronic malfunctions can be explained by simple issues like dead batteries. She also dismissed the photos and videos showing odd occurrences as hoaxes. Finally, Brown didn't believe that any Native Americans lived in Dudleytown before Europeans arrived. If that were true, there would have been bones, artifacts, and other proof. There simply isn't. So, was Brown right? Did all those explorers imagine what they experienced? Maybe. But what about the stories that have nothing to do with the Dudleys? One man exploring the woods outside the town discovered an old boot print in the dirt. He carefully brushed off the surrounding leaves and discovered another footprint, one that matched the first. The tracks led to the center of the town, but when he returned the next day to explore further, they were gone. Is it possible that these tracks appeared overnight? Or did they vanish due to natural erosion? Who knows? Another person visiting the town saw a little girl in a Victorian nightgown walking between the trees. When they approached her, she seemed to vanish into the bark. Could she have slipped behind a log, or perhaps around the side of a house that is now buried by forest? Perhaps, but how can we be sure? To learn more, I reached out to a team of paranormal investigators. They'd explored Dudleytown and documented their findings. According to their investigation, the Dudleys aren't the only ones whose voices linger in the trees. They interviewed witnesses who experienced uncanny encounters, heard disembodied voices, and saw dark figures among the ruins. These sightings aren't necessarily evil, the investigators say, just lonely. Many spirits seem to be wandering aimlessly, calling out for loved ones. The investigators think these souls have unfinished business and are searching for peace. They're drawn to the investigators because they hope to be understood. To learn more, I reached out to several ghost hunting teams who'd explored Dudleytown. One team told me that as they were setting up their equipment, they heard a woman singing a hauntingly beautiful melody. But there was no one there. Was it a spirit trying to communicate? Another team said they captured footsteps behind them as they walked through the woods, but there was no one there. While they were exploring the ruins of a house, they experienced sudden drops in temperature and heard unexplained whispers. Then they saw shadows darting between the trees. Were these shadows spirits? Some say they saw the ghost of a little girl staring at them with hollow eyes. When they approached, she vanished. Perhaps she hid behind a tree or inside a ruin. Others say they saw shadowy figures standing at cellar doorways, hollow, watching, unblinking. Most people see these beings as ghosts, but could they have been mannequins or statues? One team said they found a grave with no markings. Each season, a new grave appears, but none of them have headstones. When they dug up the grave, they found nothing except silence and cold soil. Perhaps a skeleton had decomposed over time, or maybe animals had dug it up. Others say they found bones in certain shapes, like skulls or femurs, but they couldn't prove it because they were never allowed back onto the property. Others say they experienced unexplainable phenomena, like this blue orb moving too deliberately to be dust. Still others say they saw dark figures standing at cellar doorways, hollow, watching, unblinking. One group of ghost hunters interviewed spoke of uncovering a cellar door on their second trip, though they had not seen it before. Inside, they found bizarre geometric symbols carved into the walls. They say the room was filled with a heavy, thick darkness. They sensed great sorrow and a strong metallic scent. Here they experienced an unexplainable sensation of overwhelming fear. On their third visit, they found the symbols painted over. On their fourth, the wall was bare. Were these symbols real or imagined? After reporting on Dudleytown, I wanted to know what happened to the people who disappeared there. So I went to the town clerk's office in the nearest city. I asked if anyone had gone missing in the area, but they said no one had been reported missing in the town for decades. Then I checked the police records. There, I learned that several teenagers had been reported missing, but all of them had turned up safe and sound. Some had run away from home, while others had gotten lost in the woods. Now, some say the legend of Dudleytown is real. They say that if you enter the woods at midnight, you'll see terrible things. Teenagers dare each other to enter the woods at midnight, but no one stays calm after. One emerged trembling and said, "The trees tried to speak my name." No one believed him, but a month later, he disappeared. His trail ends at the entry road. Others say that on nights with high humidity, you can hear voices. But if you stop to listen, the voices vanish. Still others say that in the autumn, you can see eyes watching you from cellar doorways, hollow, watching, unblinking. What are these eyes? Eyes of cats, dogs, people, or something else entirely? That's up to you to decide. One thing is clear, though. If you enter the forest, you should be careful. You might get lost forever. Some say that if you walk through the woods, the trees will reach out and grab you. Others say the forest will whisper your name and draw you closer. Still others say the forest will play tricks on you, making you think you're walking away when you're actually getting closer. I'm not sure what to believe, but one thing is clear: the forest is powerful. After talking to the ghost hunters, I'm convinced that there are spirits living in the trees. Some say that if you sit quietly and listen, you can hear their voices. Others say if you reach out and touch a tree, you can feel their presence. I'm not sure what to believe, but one thing is clear: the forest is full of mysteries. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please subscribe for more scary stories. Until next time, stay safe and sleep tight.